Let's go ahead and finally take a look at our contact page. I'm going to click the tab. Okay, so we see we have our title, we have our name, our email address, subject, message, and send yourself a copy. Okay, so we have most of the items that we have in our mockup. Let's go ahead and jump back to our mockup and take a quick look. We have name, so that was an item that displayed in our contact form. Email, which did as well. Experience level did not. Comments did. And sign up for newsletter did not. So we have a couple items that we still need in this contact form. Let's go ahead and jump back. So on this page, I don't see any way to edit this particular form. So let's go ahead and go to the contact configuration page and see what options we have available to us. So again, we need to add a select box option to allow the user to select an experience level. And we also need to replace this box down here with something that says sign up for our newsletter. So let's go ahead and go to the modules page again and scroll to the contact form right here. And let's click configure. We've been here before. Okay. So we read the top that said add one or more categories to this page to set up your site-wide contact form. And if we look here, we have very limited options. We can edit this category or delete it, or we can add a new category. At this point, it may not be clear exactly what these categories are or what they mean. So let's go ahead and look at some help for this module. Now at the very top of the page, you see in our navigation bar, we have an option help, which appears at the far right side. Let's go ahead and click this. And on this, there's some options for starting to use your website. So these are your first steps as you begin building the site. This is if you didn't have a guide along with this process, you may have started at this point by clicking the help link. And then down here are help topics. And most of these topics are aligned with particular modules. So if we're looking for the contact module help, we would look under contact. And note that this is in alphabetical order. So let's go ahead and click this. So this says about, gives us a little information about it. It says that the contact module allows visitors to contact site administrators and other users. It gives us an online handbook entry for the contact module. And it has a list of uses. Now we're interested in the site-wide contact forms. And this description actually gives us a clue as to what those categories are. So it says, you can create categories for directing the contact form messages to a set of defined recipients. Common categories for a business site, for example, might include website feedback and product information. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to the contact configuration page and see what adding a new category does. I'm going to go back to modules, and then next to the contact module, I'm going to go ahead and click configure. And let's click add category. We'll just call this test category. And recipients, I'm going to go ahead and put admin at Magnificent. It looks like we have some additional options here. Let's go ahead and just save. All we're doing is seeing what adding this category does. And then let's go back to our contact page. I'm going to go back to home. And then I'm going to click contact. Okay, we have a new input here called category right here. And we have website feedback. And then if we do the drop down, we also see test category. So what's happening here is that depending on what option is selected for this input, when the user fills out this form, it will send the results of this form to various locations. So this is close to what we want with our select box for the experience level, but it's not quite right. And also a lot of these labels for the inputs, your name, your email address, subject, category, are all just a little bit different than what they are in our mockup. So we need more flexibility. Luckily, we can get this with a module called WebForm. It doesn't come with Drupal by default, so we'll need to go ahead and download it and install it, and that's what we're going to do in our next steps.